guess sometimes our kids let us down.
And Boston just can't win a game unless Mom makes them a home-cooked meal and they're staying in their nice, comfortable bed. Because you put Boston on the road and they miss dunks and layups and everything. I want to get back home. I'm not very good on the road. It's a hotel and I have to sleep by myself and Mom doesn't make me a meal.
My bad. Sometimes that team that we know is eventually going to be good just isn't ready to be special yet. All right, I'm a little tough on the Celtics. Game 6 tonight. Celtics at Cleveland. The at part is significant because Boston's the only city in America that spells at with an L. Yeah, they're 1-6 on the road, and the league was so used to them losing on the road, it actually happened. Confetti came from the tile, and Philadelphia at home actually lost. Listen, Fitzy, I'm not asking for a win. Listen, Sully, I don't need a victory. Listen, O'Shea and O'Callahan, I don't need a W. I'm just asking for you to be competitive on the road for 9 minutes. Look at the chart. You're not even competitive on the road. That's all we're asking for here. I don't want to hear about LeBron. LeBron won 2 games in Toronto. They were the number 1 seed in the East. I don't want to hear about LeBron. Gritty, Indiana, at 1. LeBron's got 61 career road wins. LeBron's all good on the road. Listen, all comedians are good when they can pack the theater with their fans. How do you deal with the drunk heckler? That's what the road is. That is what the road is. It's uncomfortable. Boston, no excuses. Just give me like 25 minutes of competitive basketball tonight. That's all I'm asking. All right, the breaking news today, and it is breaking news, and it is substantial. Chris Paul, who has often been the best basketball player for either team on the floor, is out for Game 6. Uh-oh, Houston, we've got a problem. Not James Harden, Chris Paul is out. This is the luckiest team in the world. Think about this. Let's go back to 2015. They meet the Cavs in the finals. Kevin Love's out for it, and Kyrie Irving gets hurt in Game 1. It still takes the Warriors 6. In 2017, second round against Utah, Rudy Gobert gets hurt. In the Western Conference Finals, they face the Spurs and Kawhi Leonard, Spurs up by 20, gets hurt. And they lose. Then last year, first round against the Spurs, no Kawhi Leonard. Second round against New Orleans. This year, no Boogie Cousins. And now no Chris Paul at the end of this series. And oh, by the way, if they played Boston in the finals, they wouldn't have Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. Good God, the Warriors' 6th man is a voodoo doll. This is incredible. In fact, I could make an argument injuries have even worked out in Golden State's favor when they're on their own team. The reason Kevin Durant could come over, because Steph Curry back in, 2012 got hurt, and they were able to pay him a very small contract, and he became the 2-time MVP of the league on a mid-level player salary. I mean, good Lord, what a stroke of good fortune for the Warriors and misfortune for the Rockets. This is incredible, a complete and utter game changer. You know, what is really interesting about this, it really jumps out to me, is that I was really I try not to root, okay? And I know what you're saying. Colin, you're rooting for Brady. I had no problem when Brady loses games. I had no problem when my friend Lane Kiffin got fired. I have no problem saying, I think LeBron has no chance against Golden State, a slightly better chance against Houston. You notice there's a trend usually with LeBron and Tom Brady. I talk about them a lot and like them because they're the greatest, arguably, ever in the history of their respective sports. I'm not telling you Rudy Gay is great. I'm not telling you Kirk Cousins is an all-time great. Yeah, I'm telling you Messi, Ronaldo, Serena, Federer, Brady, LeBron are all-time greats. Generally in sports, we know and we agree on who's great. In fact, we generally agree on who's really, really good. You can see it, I can see it. Chris Paul has been one of the exceptions. Players bag on him. I've had players come on the show bag on him. Media bags on him. Fans bag on him. Who's been the best player in this series consistently? It's been Chris Paul. It's been Chris Paul. I couldn't be happier. By the way, I've said this often. People get divorced. People leave companies. Check back a couple years after a divorce, see who's doing well. Okay, the Clippers didn't make the playoffs. Interesting. The timing's interesting. Blake Griffin has deteriorated rapidly. DeAndre Jordan, not quite the same player. Who left? All of them. Chris Paul. Chris Paul goes to Houston. Do you remember what happened to Houston last year in the playoffs? They quit. 5 games out, blown out. Smoked. How much did they lose by? 30? Chris Paul comes. They're now leading in the Western Conference Finals. Don't forget this. They're leading 3-2 when he got hurt. We almost always agree on who's great. I mean, almost always, right? And we even agree on who's very good. I've been on Chris Paul for years and taken nothing but a dirt sandwich. Because Chris Paul, as I always claimed, played with kooky Maduki Blake Griffin, one-dimensional DeAndre Jordan, and for a franchise in Los Angeles, the number 2 franchise in the town in which I live now, that's always been a little off. That's why I've always supported Doc Rivers. He adds stability to an unstable relationship and a franchise for years. The best player, the biggest, most valuable, dominant, consistent, great player in this series has been Chris Paul. Good for him. It's like you work long enough, you grind long enough, you put your head down, you can get criticized. But eventually, all the years I've been broadcasting, the best people, the hardest working people, it may take a while. They may have a bad boss now. They may work at a bad company now. They may have a jerky agent now. You eventually find the right spot. Chris Paul finally found the right coach, the right city, the right system, the right teammates. Good for Chris Paul. Could not be happier for any player in the league right now. He's deserved this for years.
Can you feel it?